It went down as one of the most intense off-seasons in baseball history. Two teams, two rivals, two mortal enemies, both after the same prize, the best player in baseball. Those teams were the Boston Red Sox and the New York Yankees, and that prize was Alex Rodriguez. What unfolded in the winter of 2003 is the stuff of legends, and it very easily could have went another way. Alex Rodriguez was the best player in baseball at the time, trying to live up to the $252 million commitment the Texas Rangers had made to him wasn't easy, but A-Rod was doing his best. In 2003, he led the American League in runs scored, home runs, and slugging percentage on his way to winning his first American League MVP award. But alas, the team's success just wasn't there. 3 straight fourth-place finishes in the AL West, 3 different managers at the helm, and a GM realizing that his organization had possibly made a very big mistake. After the 2003 season, Rangers GM John Hart had a conversation with Rodriguez, letting him know that the team was going to go in a different direction. They were hamstrung by Alex's contract, being unable to bring in any big acquisitions to pair with him. Rodriguez responded to the meeting by asking for a trade and providing a list of teams which he would be interested in going to. On that list were both the Red Sox and the Yankees. Just a few weeks earlier, another Red Sox-Yankees chapter had been written, a 7-game series in the ALCS capped off by Aaron Boone's walk-off home run in extra innings of the penultimate game. The Yankees would go on to lose the World Series to the Florida Marlins. Both teams chalked the season up as a failure. Nothing short of hoisting the trophy was acceptable. Both teams vowed to get better and headed into the winter months looking to make whatever moves necessary to reach the top of the mountain. The Red Sox struck first, bringing in Curt Schilling from the Diamondbacks, giving up a package of mid-level prospects. Schilling was coming off an injury-filled 2003, but had still managed to win 53 games over their previous 3 seasons. It gave the Red Sox another top-end rotation arm, but behind the scenes, there was an ever-developing deal on the table to bring Alex Rodriguez to Boston. The Yankees were approached by the Rangers and decided to pass, saying that A-Rod didn't fit into what their off-season plans entailed. The Red Sox, on the other hand, were all in, believing that A-Rod could be the piece that put them ahead of the Bronx Bombers in the ever-growing American League East arms race. The Red Sox wanted to ship Manny Ramirez to Texas, not because of a decline in performance, but simply to make the money work. Texas wanted up-and-coming prospect starting pitcher Jon Lester as part of the deal. As the winter meetings began, Red Sox GM Theo Epstein and his team went to work. They would need another corner outfielder. It would later leak out that Boston had agreed to a deal in principle with the White Sox to send them starting shortstop and superstar Nomar Garciaparra in return for outfielder Magglio Ordez and prospect starting pitcher Brandon McCarthy. That would free up shortstop for A-Rod, replace Manny, and also replace Lester. Boston was ready to strike. As the story goes, GM Theo Epstein and assistant GM Jed Hoyer went up to new manager Terry Francona's hotel room at 3 a.m. and showed him a lineup card with Rodriguez and Ordonez's name on it. Francona proceeded to dance around in his underwear for a few minutes in approval. Unfortunately for Francona, Epstein, Hoyer, and the entire Red Sox franchise, that was as close as they ever got to fielding that team. There was a problem. The Red Sox couldn't afford A-Rod given his 7-year, $179 million commitment left on his deal. The Red Sox wanted to rework the deal with Rodriguez so that they could still make other moves and continue to be competitive. The Red Sox at the time had a team payroll of just around $110 million, still about $70 million behind the Yankees' massive financial bankroll. A-Rod was in a constant contact with the MLB Players Association about his wanting to go to Boston and willingness to renegotiate his contract. But the union reminded him that the CBA dictated what he could and couldn't do. Both the Rangers and Red Sox approached Commissioner Bud Selig about their intentions to make a deal contingent on Alex's approval to renegotiate the terms of his contract. Selig gave Boston 72 hours to come up with something that both MLB and the union would approve. Despite Rodriguez's willingness to approve a new deal, the union rejected that deal, feeling it would set a negative precedent for their members when it came to negotiating with clubs in the future. The deal was dead. the deal with the White Sox was dead, Alex Rodriguez remained a Texas Ranger. And everybody moved on. That was until in January when Aaron Boone severely injured his knee playing pickup basketball. All of a sudden, the Yankees needed a third baseman. The Rangers reached out. They were still willing to move Alex Rodriguez for the right package. That price was Alfonso Soriano and a prospect from a list of 6 or 7 names. The Rangers ended up selecting shortstop Joaquin Arias from that list. Arias would go on to give the Rangers only 242 below-average plate appearances over the length of his stay with the club. The biggest miss for them? Robinson Cano's name was on that list. Everything was falling into place for GM Brian Cashman and the Yankees. A-Rod was willing to play third base. The Rangers agreed to pay $67 of the remaining $179 million left on his contract, and the league and the union both approved the deal. A-Rod became a Yankee. The Red Sox yet again were bested by New York. Stories of Babe Ruth version 2.0 were told all over the television and the internet. The Red Sox did have the next and arguably biggest laugh in the rivalry as they went on to win the 2004 World Series, finally shaking off the stink of over 80 years of futility. But what would have happened if things would have went Boston's way in the winter of 2003? Today, let's find out. So here we are at the beginning of the 2004 Major League Baseball season. The Boston Red Sox have a lineup that includes Magglio Ordez and Alex Rodriguez, a pitching rotation that includes Curt Schilling and a very young Brandon McCarthy. Now, as I said in the intro, the Boston Red Sox in real life won the World Series in 2004 without Alex Rodriguez and without Magglio Ordez and without Brandon McCarthy. So let's see in this simulation how they would do with these players. So as you can see here in the simulation, the Red Sox did not fare very well as they went 84-78, missed the playoffs, finishing 7 games back of the Yankees in the American League East, and a whopping 16 games back of the White Sox, who won the wild card with 99 wins. Taking a look at the acquisitions for Boston in this simulation, Alex Rodriguez had a pretty good season at the plate. He did only play 111 games. We'll talk about that in a second. 301 batting average with 38 homers, 99 RBIs, and a 1.028 OPS, which you can't really argue about that. Very good production. He did miss 8 weeks with a fractured foot. He was originally supposed to be out 2 to 3 weeks, but suffered a 5-week setback that required surgery, hampering the Red Sox majorly. Again, with the Red Sox picking up Alex Rodriguez, they gave up a lot of financial flexibility. So once A-Rod went down, they really didn't have the ability to go out and get anybody else. Magglio Ordez had a very good season for the Red Sox as well, hitting .306 with 33 homers and 100 RBIs, so another very nice pickup. Brandon McCarthy, on the other hand, was not that great. He was actually sent down towards the end of the season. He did make 26 starts for the Red Sox, pitching to a 5-13 record with a 6.12 ERA and a 1.56 whip. Ouch. The Red Sox also had some very good performances from Pedro Martinez, who despite having a 16-14 record led the league in strikeouts. Curt Schilling with 21-11. Taking a look at the players that they gave away, Nomar Garciaparra went to the White Sox and had a pretty decent 2004. 292 batting average, 16 homers, 76 RBIs. Again, a major drop from his Boston production. He did only play 138 games and only started 118. He did suffer several minor injuries. He missed 5 weeks with a high ankle sprain and missed a few days with a bruised finger and a sore thumb. Manny Ramirez, who went to Texas in the deal, had himself a very Manny-esque season. Hit .328,
38 homers, 97 RBIs, led the league in slugging percentage with .616, led the league in OPS with 1.033. And Jon Lester, the prospect that Boston gave to Texas in the deal, well, he didn't make it past Double-A, actually struggled very mightily in 29 combined starts between A and Double-A on the season. He pitched 145 in the third innings to about a 5.5 ERA. But the main thing is, in this 2004 simulation, the Boston Red Sox do not win the World Series. They do not even make the playoffs. Now let's simulate it out a few years and see what happens. The 2004 World Series champions ended up being the Florida Marlins, who repeat as World Series champions. As you can see on the right-hand side of the screen, look at that pitching. Fewest runs against in baseball, best defensive efficiency, and best starter ERA as the Marlins go back-to-back in 03 and 04. So here we are, folks. We have simulated to the end of the 2009 season, and as you look towards the bottom of this very number-filled chart, you can see the Boston Red Sox have not had a very favorable time period since trading for Alex Rodriguez. As you can see, they have missed the playoffs all 6 seasons since making the trade and have won no more than 84 games. The big problem? His contract hamstrung them financially, plunging them into a debt that they did not get themselves out of until 2008. As you can see, ladies and gentlemen, Alex Rodriguez is now a member of the Minnesota Twins after signing a 6-year contract worth $103 million after the 2006 season in which he had an opt-out. In his 3 years in Boston, he was pretty good. He hit .301 in 2004, as we said earlier. 2005, he hit .294 with 41 jacks. 2006, he hit .307 with 50 home runs and 112 RBIs, leading the league in home runs and also leading the league in on-base percentage. He's had a pretty good career continuing in Minnesota, as well as he's had 37, 31, and 46 home runs, putting him at 577 at the end of the 2009 season. But unfortunately, his 3 years in Boston would have to be chalked up as a failure, as they never made the playoffs a single time. Manny Ramirez is still plugging away with the Atlanta Braves. As you can see, he has had some injury problems. He missed pretty much all of the 2006 season. He actually finished the 2009 season on the DL. He had some big seasons in Texas, though, including a 51 home run 2005, where he led the league in runs, home runs, slugging percentage, OPS, and WAR. He's actually led the league in slugging 3 times since leaving Boston. Led the league in OPS those same 3 times. Overall, Manny has been pretty good, including a 2005 Most Valuable Player award. Jon Lester is still with the Texas Rangers and has turned himself in to an all-star pitcher. Now 25 years old at the end of the 2009 season, he has made the American League All-Star team twice, in 2008 and in 2009. He was 14-9 in 2008 with a 3.34 ERA, including 189 strikeouts. And then in this 2009 season, he had an unbelievable 2.59 ERA, a .89 WHIP, and a 241 to 51 K to walk ratio. So having those two things, with the way Ramirez performed in his 3 seasons, and now Jon Lester turning into one of the American League's best pitchers, you would have to say that Texas was the winner of this deal. Magglio Ordez stayed with the Red Sox until the end of the 2007 season before jumping ship to the Cincinnati Reds. He had a very nice tenure in Boston, hitting over 300 all 4 seasons, including a 340 batting average in 2005 and a 339 batting average in 2007. He was a 3-time All-Star with the Red Sox as well, but again, his presence in their lineup was not enough to put them over the hump. Brandon McCarthy, the big prospect that the Red Sox got back from the White Sox in the deal, has had a up and down major league career. He did spend a few years in Boston where he started a total of 52 games. Unfortunately, were 52 very bad games until he was transitioned into the bullpen. He has not made a start at the major league level since 2005. He's made plenty of starts at the minor league level, but unfortunately has not been able to put it together, and it appears destined to be, at best, roster depth. And what may be the most intriguing part of this entire simulation is the fact that Nomar Garciaparra came back to the Boston Red Sox. That's right. After spending 3 seasons with the White Sox, where he was a pretty good player. Again, unfortunately, injuries continued to derail Nomar's career, but he did hit .347 in 100 games in 2006 before being traded to the Dodgers, where he continued to hit .354. So in total in 2006, he hit .349 with 24 home runs and 104 RBIs before re-signing with the Red Sox on a $7.8 million deal, and he has not played more than 77 games. So another bad decision by the Red Sox. As you can see, several injuries during the 2003 to 2005 phase. But as you can see, he signed a 4-year deal worth $31 million with the Red Sox. The Red Sox have gotten a total of about 90 games started out of Nomar. So that's some money pretty wasted. Now, obviously, we want to take a look at how the Yankees have done in this same time period. In 2004 and 2005, the Yankees made the playoffs both times, including a 2005 where they won 107 games. The Yankees have finished 500 or better the last 4 seasons, but have actually not made the playoffs any of those seasons. So, without A-Rod, they've actually gotten worse as well. Well, guys, that's it for today's video where we took a look back at what if the Boston Red Sox would have acquired Alex Rodriguez in the 2003 offseason. Red Sox fans all around the world should be rejoicing that things in real life turned out the way that they did, because in this simulation with A-Rod, Magglio, and Brandon McCarthy in the fold, things did not turn out very well. If you guys like this video, make sure you spank the thumbs up button and make sure to subscribe to the channel. If you guys want to pick up your very own copy of Out of the Park Baseball 18, check out the link in the description and use the coupon code for 10% off. That's it for this week's video. My name is Snaggle J. Until next time, peace.